I'm gonna try and show everything that's wrong with the classic client. So let's start off moving. It's not actually navigating around the objects. It will sort of navigate a bit if in the options you've got enable pathfinding. It will kind of navigate if you're not facing the object like that. But if you run into an object, the auto navigate's not working. The other problem is having enable pathfinding on. Normally, if you want to open a door, you just turn towards the door and open the door. But if you've got the pathfinding on to help with going around objects, you actually can't open doors anymore unless you take a step back first. So I'm spamming my open door macro, and because it can't face the door, you have to step away from the door and then into it. What next? Okay, housing. If you're chasing someone and clip the edge of the front of the houses, you get stuck like that. Obviously that's fixed on Orion as well. Same thing happens when someone casts a wall of stone spell on you. You can't move in any direction and it sort of glitches out, and by the time you're off of the first wall, someone's able to cast the second one and you'll be stuck. Same thing does happen with energy fields, but there's not so much of a problem. Okay, the next thing I've got on my list, there's actually no mobiles bar. So when your guildmates log in and you want to grab their bars, you actually have to manually grab them all. It's not going to auto populate anywhere for you, and that can be a problem trying to grab them in areas at housing, because even pressing like Control Shift, like some bars, because there's so much other stuff that shows around housing, it won't even load their bars. I can't show you at the moment. Next thing is mounts health bars. On the topic of bars, if you're fighting a tamer, or for any reason you need to target someone's mount, let's say you could drag their bar, their mount's bar, as soon as you or someone else rides the mount, even though no matter how many times you drag that health bar, it's going to disappear. Pretty annoying. You have to keep retargeting. What's the next thing on the list? Circular transparency. So you can't really see, well, you can see behind the houses with circular transparency, but where there's like lots of auction safes, it doesn't actually work. I think the other thing is goes are mats. So if you go behind a house with any of those, you're running completely blind. Attack nearest hostile doesn't work on the classic client, because you could be trying to target an orange, and all that happens is it will hit whatever's closest to you. So if that's a deer or something, it's going to attack that even though they're not orange. There's no way to filter out only oranges, and it will also attack your own guildmates if they're grey, or their pets as well. You can sort of get around that if you party someone and you've got, I think there's a filter in the reputation system or block war on party, and that will stop you from attacking people in the party, but you can't party people's horses and things, and it's not really practical to do as well in the field, you know, to as soon as someone goes grey, say, hey, can you party me? Also, if they've already partied with someone else, you've got to get the person who's the party leader to add you in. And the block war and friendly, that doesn't work either if they go grey. Also, you cut that block war and friendly, that will actually stop you from hitting blues as well as greens, so that's broken as well. What next? Okay, spell focusing sash. There's actually no macro in the game to enable or disable spell focusing sash, and there's no way of doing it on UO assist either. In EC you can make a macro to do it. It's a bit of a, you have to run some script, but you can do it in EC. Classic client, obviously it's a bit difficult if you're wearing, say, Mantle of the Archlich, which you can't transmog onto a parrot. I'm not going to go into that. You can't actually see the sash very well. You can see like 1 pixel in the corner. So I've got 2 different sashes. One of them's spell focusing, one's not. So to get around this, the fact that you can't enable or disable it, you can make a macro to dress a spell focusing sash. And another macro to dress a non-spell focusing sash, but it's a little bit buggy to do that because at the moment I've got my spell focusing on 76. Okay, that's going up, 82. I'm going to switch to non-spell focusing, and again another bug, the buff will just stay there forever, so it's a little bit difficult to tell whether or not you've actually switched to your non-spell focusing. Again, not a problem in Orion because you can actually make a macro to enable or disable spell focusing. That's a little issue. You'll notice as well on the buff bars there's actually no time, so in order to find out when your bless is going to run out, you have to stop moving and mouse over the buff bar. Same with spell focusing, you have to sort of stop whatever you're doing and mouse over it, whereas obviously in Orion and an enhanced client it will just tell you how long left, so that's a bit awkward. The other thing, the attunement spell, this one's really quite bugged. This one's fixed on the enhanced client, and you'll notice on the Orion client people have got like this big buff timer to show when their attunement's going to run out. So what happens, just got to wear it down quickly. So once you use the old attunement, okay, this is actually fixed in the enhanced client. This is only classic client. You go to cast the spell again, and your character will actually stop moving to cast, which is a bit crazy. But 2, you've actually got no idea when the attunement is actually ready, because it doesn't tell you. I mean, we know it's a 2-minute cooldown, but it's not even giving you timer. So one, it's stopping you from moving, which it obviously shouldn't do. And two, it's not telling you how long left. So you could be trying to run away from a group of people casting attunement and keep stopping every 3 seconds, and have no idea when that's going to randomly reactivate again. It's not even giving you a time. Again, that's fixed on enhanced client. Finally, on the classic client, if you've got a child with healing, and this is the craziest, worst bug, you start applying the bandages, and what you want to do for healing, obviously the most efficient thing to do is apply a bandage as soon as the first one stopped. I mean, that's how it works on Orion, it's auto bandages. Again, this is only classic client, not enhanced client, but if you try to apply a bandage and you're a millisecond early, what happens is nothing. You will lose the original bandage, and the timer just starts again. Just keeps beginning applying bandages. If you're a split second too soon on reapplying the bandages, so that is a crazy bad penalty that they're giving people who use the classic client. I think that's about it for the most annoying things. Okay.